The music, I have no kind of dealings with it, right? But it's 7:48 a.m. and I've been having some stuff on my heart. Like I said, this is my healing journey. This is for me to heal, go back and go see it. My thoughts, my aspirations, whatever. 2 weeks ago today, I made a decision in my life to never turn back. Never go back to Louisiana ever again in my life. You know, you have this dream and aspiration for yourself, and then sometimes when you're young, it doesn't work out. Then you have kids. That relationship didn't work out with the dad, but you got your kids. So everything that you do revolves around your kids. You want better. And we're not perfect. We're not perfect at all. You know, we make mistakes. And I have made some, right? I've made some mistakes in my life. That probably have traumatized my children. A little bit, maybe. I'm not putting no slack off on me. I made decisions to get up, leave, and not knowing in the process some of the things that I was going to go through, right? Or we was going to go through. But this last decision, and then I'll talk about the rest in other little snippets, but this last decision not to go back to Louisiana this last year has been a hell of a ride, shall I say. I've been in a mental hospital. Yes, that's what I said. My kids put me there, and other people had their hands in it. Why? I don't know. Now, I'm going to tell y'all what happened. In February of 25, I asked my son, in January of 25, I asked my son if he had heard from his sister. And he told me no. He said, I haven't heard from her in 3 months. Mind you, my daughter had just had a baby in October of that last year. I wasn't talking to her for 3 years. Some things that expired in my life that I still haven't gotten closure to, and I'm not worrying about it no more. I'm just done with it. Because how you can heal something that you don't know nothing about, right? Yes, I did leave her, and it was best that I did. I've learned to never let anybody, I don't care who they are, remove the title off of them, you know, bring you back to the old person that you was. I was the type of person, act now, think later. Act now, think later, meaning however I felt, I don't care if I go to jail, I act now, think later. Now that have gotten me in situations where that's somewhere I don't want to go. I don't want to go to jail, you know, for my actions or just not thinking, right? So in the midst of that, I decided, I asked my son if I made the decision. I said, do you want to go back to Louisiana? And he said, yeah. He said, Ma, it's whatever you want to do. Mind you, I had never seen my little grandbaby. I hadn't talked to my daughter since she had him. And I wanted my family back together. I know it couldn't be exactly the way it was because of the stuff that happened. But I wanted a closeness with my children. And I always did tell my daughter, don't have no kids right now. Because I wanted to, once my son graduated, I wanted to do some things for me. Because I know what type of grandparent I wanted to be. I wanted to be involved. Seriously, my hands-on in my grandson's life. One of them grandparents were like, oh, no, my grandbaby not going to daycare, bring him here, you know? But anyways, made the decision to pack my bags break my lease, and pack up and go to Louisiana. Well, in February of 25, I did just that. Went to work my last day, and the lady in HR told me, it's her words. And wisdom I take highly. I take in highly. But this is her words in 25. She says, until I don't think you need to leave. I think you need to go get your daughter. See if she's okay. Get her and bring her back here with you. You never go back to a place that break you, that have broken you. So with that being said, that stuck in my mind. When I got off of work, my son had them packed everything. The whole house was packed, and I got off of work after 11, went in the house, pick up some, left the apartment spotless. They could have just moved another tenant in if they wanted to. Made that 6, 7, 8 hour drive back to Louisiana. Got there, my son found my daughter's apartment. He goes in the inside and literally didn't come back out. He was that ecstatic. So I go find the apartment and I go straight to the baby. I look at my son playing with his little nephew. And I look at my daughter and I went up to her and I said, give me a hug. She gave me a hug. I said, I know we need counseling. We're going to get counseling. But whatever that is, like, I'm willing to forgive because I don't hold grudges. You know, it's always a root, and I tell that to anybody. It's a root to every situation. Something happens to make it get this way. I know my daughter had some issues prior, and we had some issues prior to that issue. And it's like I never got my hands on it. I can't help you heal. I can't heal nothing I didn't break, and I can't heal nothing I know nothing of, right? So, boom, a week passed. My job, I transferred it back to Louisiana. My daughter's like, nah, don't transfer your job way over there. Transfer it to the one nearest me that's right around the corner. Mind you, I don't have a car. My car broke. And so I came back in a U-Haul. And God knows what he be doing, because if my car would have been running, who would have drove it and drove the U-Haul? I wasn't expecting my son to do that because he had his permit but not his license. So I think God allowed that to happen for me to get to Louisiana the way I got to Louisiana. And literally I transferred my job, used what my daughter said, transferred my job. And mind you, I was working at Target, so Target takes a long time to do transfers. Anywho, waiting on a transfer, trying to get my son in school. My daughter said she didn't want him to go to school where she was living at because of the school situation. So within that week, somebody was fighting outside of my daughter's apartment. And literally, with those kids, you can't, that's a house, but she's not answering. It's different, right? Mind you, from the stuff that we've been through, and I hadn't talked to her in 3 years. So I text her phone. I said, you might want to come out here, somebody fighting, and they're around your car, whatever. Anyways, long story short, she said she was calling the police because they banged up her car, or whatever the case may be. I asked her in the midst of, can I use your car to go right there to the dollar store? I didn't know the dollar store was right there, so, but I did. I went, and on my way back, when I pulled up, the police was there, and she, to me, embarrassed my son. Because in the midst of that, the police started questioning him. Now, he's 17. He's still a minor. And she did say, you don't have to answer. The police did. And my son, like, I guess with the little young children, like, man, I ain't seen nothing, blah, blah. And my daughter blurted out her mouth, that's my fucking car. You can't tell these people what happened to my fucking car. Like, that's mine. Y'all, nobody else got a car around here but me. At least you can just let the people know, whatever. And I found that was foul, the way she handled him. I remember him dropping the bags down and walking off, and we in Baton Rouge. We don't know nothing about Baton Rouge. So, not that side anyway. I don't know nothing about Baton Rouge. So, I go get him, and he says he's not coming back in the house. She cursed him out, and like, you ain't gotta come back in my fucking house. That's what she told him. And my biggest thing is, well, if he's not coming back in, I'm not coming back in either. Let me just get me a ride and go on the other side. Now, mind y'all, cut the story short a little bit. While I was here, I was trying to play it smart. I knew that I was breaking my lease. So the lady that I used to rent from, the apartment complex, I hurried up, and before I left from where I was staying at, I hurried up and got her to send me an application. I sent the application feedback and the application so everything could be in transition when I moved, right? In the midst of that, I think they had a government shutdown or something in 2025. Or I don't know what it was, but my old apartment manager, she came pick me up. And in the midst of her coming pick me up, she was like, where you going? Where you going to stay at? And I said, I'm coming on the other side. I'll be closer to the apartments. If you say, you know, hey, your apartment was approved, I can hurry up and go get the U-Haul. I had enough change left in the bank to go get me another U-Haul, get the stuff, put in there, put my little, I don't want no problems. I don't want no smoke with nobody. So I go there, go to the nearest hotel, get to the hotel, and then my son goes to his friend's house that used to stay on side of us in the apartments. And then the friend grandmother and the mama came back to the hotel, and they gave me $400. This is how God worked. $400, but yet still, they paid for the room for 2 more weeks. So altogether, that was like $1,200 or $1,400 or something like that they gave me. And I was grateful. And I remember the grandmother said, remember the seeds that you sowed in my grandson. They didn't go on, they went on fertile ground. I remember like that. And literally, I was ecstatic, but still, in the back of my mind, still thinking about what and what. Another week went by. My son, he's by his friend's house, and he back and forth. And one night, in the midst of it, he come back, and I felt this negative energy pulling from him. I don't know if he was around negative people. I don't believe so, because these people are Christian, but that's just a name, right? Or what he had went done negative. I can feel it. And I told him that night I could not chill with him in that room. I remember that. I was like, I don't know what you went done. And now, mind you, I see him with the phone, and I see him with the laptop, and he's recording me. But I'm praying, spiritually, outside seeing what I saw, or feeling what I felt. It didn't feel right? And he started crying, because I told him, you can go stay with your sister. And I had forgot about him and his sister getting into it, because, mind you, I got all kind of stuff on my mind. That family to me is supposed to be together regardless. When you go through things, you grow through them, right? And that night after he cried, and I know he needed to cry, because all the stuff that he has endured, being away from his sister for 3 years. That's all he knew. His sister was like another mama. So just everything. And he started crying, and we went to the store, and I tried to explain to him. But little did I know that my son was planning retaliation. Well, I guess they all was. I don't know. But in the midst of that, he left. He went back to his friend mama house. And I was at the room by myself just that second week into the room. And one day I'm at the room, I could feel something about to happen. This room, you open the door, is outside. You outside. You's not like in a hallway or nothing. You outside. It's one way in and one way out. And they got this brown, like truck SUV type situation going on. And this man, white man, he in a truck and he coming around there loud. Now mind y'all, I already have been going through certain situations with smell like gas was coming in the room. I went to the staff at front desk, asked them about it. Also somebody in the top room, they hitting and banging so hard the white flaky stuff is coming off the ceiling, right? So when I go in the office and I tell them about it, they look and their eyes big, right? The people outside that's renting the room, some white men, I got pictures of license plates, videos of license plates and everything, right? So in the midst of that, like I said, my son decided to go back to his friend's house. That happened to me one night with the people with the noise at the top, making the stuff fall down, the gas that I'm smelling inside the room. My nose started bleeding, right? And when I go to front desk, they tell me they got a radiator outside. That must be what I smell. I should not smell that. And then when I walk outside, I feel dizzy. Felt dizzy, right? And the men's coming out the room, they like they barbecue, but never barbecue. And they burning some stuff, a substance on a barbecue pit that making me sleepy. I hear noise from the next room, and it's not nobody having sex. It's a woman hollering, but that's not sex hollering. That's like, you're hurting me, right? So all these things going on in this room. And then my phone get locked up where I can't use it. Somebody tapped my phone. And I see who it is. It's an African. His name underneath the set. And I went in my settings and see who is monitoring me, right? So then after that, I'm like, well, I'm looking for the attorney generals or somebody number to call them, because this is not right. They blocked my phone. I couldn't call out. Good thing my son left the iPad. And literally, I walked from West Baton Rouge to East Baton Rouge like a little homeless person to get to the Attorney General office or whatnot in Baton Rouge. And lo and behold, they tell me they can't do nothing. They laughing. But what an Iranian told me, he was like, the reason why they laughed and they didn't do anything because they couldn't do anything. You can be right on side of a person. That person can tap or hack your phone and you wouldn't even know. Nobody would know, right? So in the midst of that, like, I got back to, I stopped by a church. I wanted prayers. That church was locked. People passed by, like somebody started videoing me, right? And I felt like I was in this war zone or this unknown zone. Like, why is this stuff happening, right? So get back to the hotel. One night, that night, and I literally didn't want to go back in because those same people that was knocking on the thing, burning the stuff, they was really observing me. So then I remember walking to Domino's in West Baton Rouge, And, well, first I walked to Walmart and asked for help with one of my used-to-be co-workers. And when I told her, she was like, call the police. I said, nah, police not going to do nothing. And she literally looked at me, her eyes got big, and she just did that and walked off. So, like, damn, what the fuck? Like, she knew something I didn't know. So then, boom, I go to Domino's. Same white truck that was at the room came to Domino's. I didn't leave out. I told the girl in Domino's that I was scared, right? Because literally that white truck was at the room, and they followed me. Matter of fact, I went to, what that is? What's the name of that? To go eat. Is a diner, yellow and black. Well, one of the girls that work at the room, she walked in there right after, hey, girl, how you doing? No, she said, hey, how you doing? Right? I got a picture of her in my phone. So then, boom, like I said, I went to Domino's. I even tried to call the what that is? Like, that's how bad it was for me. I was scared for my life. So, anyways, the manager came in at Domino's, and the girl was like, he'll take you where you need to go. And I remember he said, I'm going to bring you back, but let me go drop this order off. And as he dropping the order off, I see this big star, and it's hanging low. And I said, you see that? What that is in the sky? What that is? And he looked at me, he said, a star. I said, that thing kind of low, huh? Which I already know. I just wanted to see if he seen what I seen. And he said, yeah. And he said something about the Illuminati. And my energy, literally, like, I got sleepy. And I remember me telling him, give me my energy back. And he said, you're going to know when I give it back to you. And started laughing. And I made him stop in the middle of the road. And I got out and I left. I left out walking. But anyways, that was a cruel experience for me. Not just that, right after that, I'm at the room. Like I said, I seen this vehicle just coming in, and they hitting they accelerated, and they hit their brakes. That would make me open the door. So once I opened the door and I seen this white guy in his car, like a Bronco or something, he continuously doing that. And it's like, to fear him. I got fear. I'm scared. So first thing I do, my phone not working, right? I did say that, my phone not working. So the video on the internet is nothing. It just is showing that, you know, what was going on, but not really. It make me look like I'm crazy, but I'm not. So I haven't talked to my sister in 3 years. When I left everybody. I don't have to announce when I'm leaving, announce where I'm going, because nobody take care of Suntil. Nobody take care of me. I take care of myself. I've been taking care of myself and others, right? As a matter of fact, I helped raise them and their children. And nobody did nothing for me. Nothing. Everything I've done out the kindness of my heart. But anyways, I called my sister on this phone. On this laptop, and literally I asked her where she was. These are 3 questions. Where are you? Do you love me? Can you come get me? She said, this Till? My other little nickname is Tilly. Is this Till? Oh, Till, yeah, I love you. I said, well, if you love me, come get me. I'm gonna send you the address. Come get me now. Something about to happen. I don't understand what's about to happen, but I know something about to happen. She tells me, I'm coming. Say, I'm coming. It takes an hour and 45 minutes to come from Norbury to, well, less, to Baton Rouge. Hour 45 minutes past, I called her, where you at? Oh, I had to stop to get my baby some, change my child. I said, wow. Then she brought up something about when we was children. And what I heard, she said, I remember she said something about us when we was children, but in a negative aspect. And what I heard deeper was, you are angry with me for childhood issues. You have childhood issues and you need help, right? I have no jealousy, envy, no lust, no nothing in my bones. Like, I've never been jealous of nobody. I've never been envied of anyone. I've been hella mad, yeah, angry. But once I cross that hump and I look at the root of the situation, since I've gotten older, I don't let that bother me, right? But at this time, I'm like, damn, okay, she's still in her feels for whatever the case, right? I ain't never hung with her. I hang with my cousin when I was younger. It ain't got nothing to do with what I'm asking you. I feel like my life is in danger and you talking about something like that. Okay, cool. Next thing you know, the fire department, the police department, the ambulance, the chief of coroners come to the room and knock on the door. And I'm scared now. Like, who died? That's my thoughts. And he said, do you Miss Williams, the Suntil Williams? Now, mind y'all, too, I didn't say this. I had posted a text after I left my daughter's house about, I love her and I'm sorry from allowing other people come in our life to maybe manipulate her, maybe do something to hurt her, right? And I also posted, dads, be there for your kids, especially your daughters, because any man can come in their life and show them any glittery thing, and they fall for it, right? And I also said that every person that have done me wrong, whatever arrow you sent my way gonna come back to yours 7 times, right? Or maybe I said 1,000, I don't know. But no, I haven't been speaking out. I haven't told that, because I've always kept everything in. But at that time, God told me to say it, and I said it, and woo! Y'all, the coroner's office, the police department, everybody come to this room. And literally, they trying to block me in. And like, we're not trying to let you run. Now y'all done put something in my head. I would like to look at that police cam, though, because I want to see how I ran, because I try to run after they say that, because I thought about, wait, Louisville up, locked up. What y'all trying to do to me? I'm delirious. So then, boom, they took me and they told me that they was placing me on a 72-hour hold because my daughter is concerned about me. I felt like I was in a humiliation ritual. How's she concerned about me? I posted it on Facebook. She blocked me. When I told her to call me whenever she needs, she told me, oh, no, you call me. Like she was the mama. So that's not a child that's concerned. And nothing is wrong with me. So then, boom, they sent me to Baton Rouge General Hospital, 4th floor. 4th floor. Lucy something was my doctor. Never seen Lucy, seen another lady. But in the midst of that, they tell me my daughter was concerned about me. And I had to explain to the doctor, a concerned child, right? I've been up here 4 days. A concerned child, a child that's really concerned about their parent, they would have made it up there to come see on visiting hours. They also would have brought some extra clothes for their parent. Right? I don't give a damn if you ain't got nothing in your house I could fit. You go buy something from Walmart. $2, $3, $5. What is that? That little girl wasn't concerned about me. And I accept that now. I accept it. I don't know, like I say, what I did besides leave to keep my peace and to keep me out of trouble. But in the midst of that, I stayed in the hospital for 5 days. So in the midst of the 5 days, the lady that was doing my apartment revoked my application. My job started calling me the first day to say they had me on shift now. They put me on shift. But where I'm at, in a mental institution. So leave the place. 5 days later, my daughter tried to make it so hard for me to leave. She called 2 of my friends, and while I was there, another thing, while I was there, they put me in a holding place with 2 men. So if they was aggressive, I would have got beat up or hurt. I didn't know you put women and men in the same place together. That's one. 2, all the information on the ticket, on the sheet, when they was doing me to put me in there, was all wrong. Wrong Walmart I used to work to, wrong, everything was wrong. So it's like, who put that information there? I've never worked there. Where that come from? This information is all wrong. Who did this? Long story short, I got out of the place. Said fuck it. My son was in school. My homegirl came get me from Lafayette. Went to her house I told her, give me a week. Let me see if I could transfer my job to Lafayette. But unfortunately, they couldn't transfer it. They didn't have management. I told the people, my family took me and put me in a hospital. I didn't tell them what kind, what not. But boom, now I don't have a job. Right? Don't have a job. So go by my friend. I was at my friend that Friday came. I called this other lady that I had called prior when I was going through what I was, not going through nothing, but those little incident was going on. I called her one time and asked her for an Uber ride. Meaning, just pay for the Uber. That's all. I'm going to give you the address, pay for the Uber. I'm going to send you the address where I want to go. And literally, the lady came pick me up from Lafayette. Me not knowing she had anything to do with putting me in a mental hospital. Yeah. She come get me from Lafayette. She said, I don't think you need to leave. I don't think you need to leave. Your children down here, I don't think you need to leave. A week passed at our house. One night, she was in her living room, and she was going back and forth, like just rocking. And I said, what's wrong with her? She wasn't acting like that before. You know, before I left Louisiana. I used to work for this lady. So then, boom, she come in a room where I was sleeping at, a body, and she asked me for my forgiveness. She said, I'm sorry, Suntil. I just want you to know I'm very sorry for getting with your daughter and getting them to put you in a mental hospital. I'm sorry. So in the midst of being in the midst, they made me lost out on job, finances, a place to stay. Now y'all got me over here to one of the people's house that did me something, that put me there. She used to work in the medical field, so I guess they all came together and not asking me what happened or what was going on with me. Just say fuck it, put her in a mental institution. Like something is wrong with me. Then in the midst of that, even though she told me that, I'm like, God, I got 2 jobs now. I'm working at Family Dollars as an assistant manager in New Iberia, and I'm working at Dunkin' Donuts. But in the midst of that, I see that she, same spirit, envy, jealousy, secret competition. I'm I'm not in competition with nobody. I'm just trying to get my life together. And every time I try to get my life together, somebody do some shit to push me back. And I remember her words. She said, you put yourself in those situations. And when she said that, I didn't understand where she was coming from. I put myself down. Because you talk too much. You talk too much. So me thinking, I'm like, damn, after I went and thought about it for a while, sitting down talking to people that you love and you think they have your back, and they act like they're playing their part. The character, they got the face on of the character, the head, they playing their part. Like they for you. Like she was for me. And you sitting down thinking, how can I come against her? How can I do something to put a wrench in her back pocket? How can I hurt her? Who does that? Who actually sit down and think about hurting other people when they already going through something? You have to be a hurt individual, right? So boom. After all that, then one day she told me one morning she bringing me to work, and I think she felt obligated to do these things because of what she participated in, right? So one Saturday morning, bringing me to Dunkin's, because I would go to Dunkin's at 6 o'clock in the morning to 1, and then go to my other job from 2 to whatever time, right? 2 to close. And one morning, Saturday morning, her husband woke up and said, hey, you gotta bring that girl to work. And she like, she ain't never told me, but I told you, I gave you my schedule. I tell you every day, this is when I go to work, right? So then she get in the car, and it's like people don't understand I can catch on easily. You can tell me one thing, and I hear something totally different. That's why I say you gotta be mindful about texting people and how you say something to people. Because you can tell me one way, and I receive it. My receiving is good, right? So she come in, she said, oh yeah, I'ma just say my husband woke me up this morning. Girl, you know you are loved. He woke up this morning time, hey, you're not bringing son to work. Blah blah blah. And she mentioned something. What was the word? I don't know if she said she wouldn't do that for anybody else, but like I said, I think her conscience was eating her up. But then boom, out the blue, one day going to, after that, I asked her, that was that Saturday, that Sunday, she never got up to bring me to work. So basically, I had to walk an hour to work. And I'm not upset, because she didn't have to bring me to work. It's my obligations to make sure that I get to what something I applied for, I signed up for, right? And I get to work on this Sunday, and I made it there. I was supposed to be there for 6. I took out at 6. I made it there at 7-something. Almost eat. I'm late. They was looking for me. They was missing till where you was, blah, blah. And I was like, man, I walked to her. So, and that just me and God just communicate. When I do shit like that, I communicate with God and whatnot. But I see stuff in people of that person that I have never seen. They show me their true self, right? So, okay, boom, I get off of work at 1 o'clock. I called her and I told her, I said, not text her. I said, if you don't mind, if you moving around, I know she go to church on Sundays and they be out by 1. So if you moving around and you on this service road, could you give me a lift back to your house? She picks me up. I had to meet a little down the service road, her and her grandson. And then she turned around. She said, ooh, I want to go get something to eat. Y'all want to go eat the Chili's? And I said, no, my pockets can't. My pockets tapped. Right? Now, mind you, I ain't got no car. I'm still taking care of my son, which is at my sister's house now. Because some of them started. So, yeah, this is along the way. Some of them started. He said he was going to his daddy was coming. They didn't pull him out of school in Baton Rouge. Him and his sister, like, did all kind of stuff without me. Like, I don't even matter, right? So then, boom. I see a whole, we go to the Dollar General on the Main Street in New Iberia. And I see a whole flock of black crows. And spiritually, from what I've been looking at, when you see black crows and they arcing and they was going in circles, that's chaos. That's confusion. And I remember getting back in her truck and I said, oh Lord. And she said, what? What? What's wrong? I said, nothing. She said, that's what I mean about you. Now, mind you, she just told me a couple of days prior that I talk too much, right? So from that day on, I decided not to say nothing. Now, let me stop speaking so much on spiritual stuff. And she tells me, that's what I don't like about this shit, because you don't want to tell me what that means spiritually, but you'll hurry up and tell me about some mess. Now, the mess she was talking about, which was a mess, it was an experience that I experienced at my store, at my job, a couple of days prior. A customer came out and pulled his penis out at the store. And instead of the store manager the next day looking at the camera, she lied to me, told me that they couldn't see the cameras. And then she told me that she couldn't see nothing. She called the boy, old lady, told the old lady, now this woman come in the store like I want her husband. And God knows I got too much going on in my life for any man, right? I'm not looking for a man. I'm looking for stability, stabilization, just trying to get my life in order, and all these things coming about. So then I said, fuck it, I can't do it no more. I walked to work another day, and I said I could not do it again. I got me a rental, and literally, I said I'm going to mash out. And I was going to go to another state. My children seem like they know what they're doing. My son, like he got everything and figured out. My sister, just all kind of stupid shit. Nah, I know this is a long video. But in the midst of that, me leaving to go to the other state, I had to bring my son to Baton Rouge to get some stuff out the storage. So before I leave, he can have what he needed and whatnot. And I made it back to Iberia Parish like 1, 2 o'clock that night. And I remember parking on the side of somebody's house that I know. And I went to sleep in the car because I couldn't drive. I was tired. And when I got up the next morning, I kept calling the person whose house I was going to stay to in the other state. They never answered. In the midst of that, a guy friend of mine, I went by his house for a little while, and I started working at another store. Then there goes some shit where he telling his ex-old lady, I'm there. The woman coming to, one day I'm going to work, I'm at the light, I don't know how she look, I seen a picture, but I smile with everybody. This woman pulled up on side me at the light and was smiling, I smiled, she pulled her little sunroof back. Oh, you in such and such car, huh? Yeah, he told me about you. Ain't you leaving in February? Yeah, I know that too. Only thing I know, you better not do nothing to my clothes. You sleeping in the room with my clothes in the closet. Just childish shit. And I felt at that moment right there, it's like, damn, man. Everywhere I go is the same scenario, but who's in the picture? Me. So I got to look at myself of what I am doing wrong to make people like, what the fuck? I don't want no smoke with nobody. I don't want you, I don't have time for that. So you put me in a position, that woman had a gun, that woman could have shot me. Right? Some more shit. So I'm like, damn, man, I'm not being valued nowhere. So then, boom, but that door closed. That was God's way of saying, nah, I need you to work it out with your daughter. I need you to see some shit that you're not seeing. So then, boom, I leave the man's house. I call my daughter. They come get me quick. I'm to my daughter's house, and as a mother, you see your children struggling. You don't want your child to struggle. That's me, point blank. My mama didn't do all that with me. She made me struggle. Bitch, you gonna get it together. And literally put me out the house at a young age and whatnot. And that's something I said I would never do. But when push came to shove, I did. I left. Point blank, period. Right? Because it's either her or me. Right? In this situation, I see my daughter and her boyfriend. He getting off of work. She don't work. The baby there. They have some situations going on in their life that's not good at the time, but he getting off of work 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and they staying out till 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. Not 5, because he got to be to work at 5, so about 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. And that made me scared. Out that time of the morning, just doing orders and doing whatnot. So I'm like, well, Lord, they never asked me. Because a person that is sent by God gonna do what your heart feels. And so, I said, Lord, I get my income tax. I'ma just give them something, because they was trying to get a car, right? And my income tax wasn't a lot, about $3,000. It was full, but I borrowed $1,000 prior, and that went towards my daughter's household. I met over that. They're not asking me, but I see what needed. I see you need this, you need that, I'ma get it. I'm not, and then I'm giving you $150 a week. Boom. Every time I ask about how much there is short up from getting a car, $250, $300, $300, $200, $250, or they need something, I get it. Or all together, I spun. Over $1,000 just giving them to help them on the car. And like I told them, I didn't ask for it back. I don't want it back. That's what I told them. Just, the only thing I'm asking y'all, just make sure that I get to work. That's it. Make sure I get to work. I'm going to get me a car. I see they're struggling. So why would I want something back? I say the type of tribe I'm looking for is equal give and take. The Africans can do it. The Filipinos can do it. All the other races can do it. Chinese, we can do that too, right? Well, lo and behold, one night my daughter, I'm like a scapegoat. Everybody, me. I'm at fault. Her little godchild peeing in the bed. I'm not giving her water. How am I at fault? Do I gotta wake up yes, I sleep in her room, but do I gotta wake up every night when I get in? I do it sometimes, but that's not my responsibility. But I seen that she started putting blame on me for everything. I'm at fault. She never take accountability for nothing, and I see it. I see that I love my child, but I see that she's a child that she's stubborn. She don't take accountability for her actions, and she's entitled, right? So then, boom, when she told me that it was my fault and the face she made, like she was to the door, pull a little girl out and said what she said, and I'm like, man, what do that mean? To me, that sounds like she meant you need to go. Right? So I told you what I hear, my perception of things is totally different from other people. And so in the midst of that, I told her after I walked out the bathroom and I thought about it, and it registered. I said, man, I'm going to be out here by the 30th. 30th of April. Just give me till the 30th. Now, in April, I didn't give her no money. I didn't have none. I gave my son $500 for him to get his driver's license. I was paying for stuff that I found out that he ain't never paid for, giving the money for it, and it's shorting me. I'm giving everybody, everything. Just giving it to them. Now, what I mean by everybody, my children, and making sure the household needs. And I don't know if they see, like, what I'm doing, don't matter. But my sister, somebody called me and said, oh, I see Desiree put Land's graduation pictures on Facebook, you know, and I'm like, damn. Well, where's my picture? I'm doing all the work and she getting the recognition for it. Like, she's doing so much for him and whatnot. Cool. So then, what I determined was, what I kept asking about how many graduation tickets you getting. Graduated on the 14th. I left on the 4th, 10 days prior to him graduating. And before I left, I asked him again about the graduation tickets and how I felt. You know, not how I felt, but what I saw. You know, because feelings ain't got nothing. I'm not gonna put my feelings in it. This is what I see. You know, and he told me, well, when you did that to me in that room, you know what I'm talking about. So that was retaliation. So you doing this stuff and you making it seem, you want me to feel jealous? I don't know. Or you undermining me, putting your auntie in the business. She's, to me, she's stepping over her boundaries. Literally, you know. And in that moment, I said to myself, well, let me go ahead and let him go ahead and make his decisions, because that's what he's doing. He's making decisions like they wise. He know everything that he's doing. See, because my plan was to stay there, make sure that he was in an apartment, and he didn't want to stay on campus because he was supposed to be going to Southern and in the service and so I'm like, let me help him get an apartment, you know, a 1-bedroom, get everything out of storage where he can, and leave my stuff, or get me a little smaller storage where I wasn't paying that much, but get everything out the storage for him and whatnot. That was my plans. But when I seen that he had his own plans and they was going against the grain, what the fuck? Then my daughter, they started not bringing me to work. So the same scenario, different people. I'm walking to work, an hour to work, and 3 days out the week walking an hour. Shit, Pat and Turner, they sold. And I did that for like 3 weeks before I decided I cannot do this no more. After I told her that I was leaving on the 30th, it was like the beginning of April. She started taking her children, putting in a room with her, petty stuff. Kids ain't got nothing to do with that. I said, damn, I seen a narcissist. That's what I seen. I seen somebody I thought I knew, but I never knew. And I'm not the type of parent that's going to take your arm and wring your arm and make you listen to me. You grown now. You 20, you 24, going on 25. My son 18. I want to see what y'all prefer. So if you prefer to disrespect me and leave me out in the cold, that's how y'all think it is, nah. I'm just going to move on and move on without y'all. Did it hurt? Yes. I made up in my mind to never, ever touch Louisiana again. I don't care if nobody die. I'm not going out there. People that I once knew, I don't know no more. I'm done. I'm done. A man told me, one of the customers in the store told me, he said, you know you got a lawsuit. You have a lawsuit and you can individually sue every one of those individual entities. The fire department, the chief of the coroner's office, everybody that was there and had something to do with it, the doctor. And in that joint, I found out that everybody in there not crazy. Them people is not crazy. They say you're crazy and put you in there. Some of them, they go in there and act mentally crazy to get a check or whatnot. Some people had the wrong type of pill, get in there and they become fine, whatnot. They checked me for everything. Only thing I had in my system was weed. I had marijuana, Mary Jane. Right? And that because I had took 2-3 puffs, somebody blunt, a couple of days before they, 3. Because I started smoking after that shit with my daughter, right? At the hotel. But, yeah. So after all that, my biggest lesson was from all those different scenarios, love thyself. People will bring you out, try to bring your old character out. You didn't took that mask off and threw that away. You ain't got nothing else to do with them old wives, right? And they trying to bring that in your new reality, and you're not even that same person, right? You're not trying to jump and just react. Cause I would have told my sister ass. My daughter got a grip. I'm not doing all that. I'm not wasting my energy on nobody. I just show me who you'd rather be, and I'm a deal with your economy. No, I'm not crazy. I didn't lose my mind. I found myself, right? And I found out that everybody around me is fake. They are fake. They're not real. They're not genuine. On my daddy's side, on my mama's side, my little brothers, them homeless. They're homeless. I'm homeless too, but I'm not homeless, right? I don't have my own place, but they literally, they going through some things. And you mean to tell me, like, I was the one that, hey, I got my house, everybody welcome. But like God says in the Bible, man, everybody for themselves. Everybody. So that one incident with my son made him retaliate. And took, I don't know, petty, and got my sister involved in it some kind of way. Well, she was already involved in it. I don't know what kind of shit they got hooked up. But I wonder if I can get a lawyer. And there's some other things I want to say too that happened. Anybody got some if they got some professional help out there that say I could get a lawyer, because I want to go deep with this. Like down the rabbit hole. I want to find out everything. And everybody that had their hands in it, I want them being accounted for. Because I'm tired. I am sick and tired. Sick and tired of the situations with people digging in your business, getting in your life, doing stupid shit. I raised my brothers and sisters. My brother died and I still function. I went to another state and took care of somebody else. And that person showed me their color. Like, they don't have genuine people no more. Love, real love. Right? So say all this to say, I am never going back to Louisiana. And don't never let nobody bring you back to the person that you used to be, that you was delivered from. Right? Regardless of what they do to you, how they see you, whatnot, you know. And with my kids, like I said, I let them choose what they want. And they chose other people over me, so, and that's fine. Everybody have their own choices. That's their journey. You know, at first I was kind of nervous, but I'm not. Right? I know God got them. This is their journey. And they feel like they know it, everything. Hey, but anybody out there that have some professional help, legal action that I can actually do, because my daughter is not she don't have no type of rights over me, so how could she just put me in something, right? That as well, and then the lady that also had her hands in it. I want to sue everybody. So if any of y'all hit me up, Facebook, my name is Sunsil Williams. or hit me up in the comments. Leave me a message and let me know that I need some legal help. If I'm able to get legal help, let me know. All right, y'all. Yep, not going back.